Sani Abacha was a Nigerian soldier and politician who served as the de facto president of Nigeria from 1993 to 1998. Opinions of Abacha's regime are controversial. Although it saw dramatic economic growth, it also witnessed widespread human rights abuses. Early life and education. A Kanuri from Bono by tribe, Abacha was born and brought up in Kano, Nigeria. He attended the Nigerian Military Training College and Mons Officer Cadet School before being commissioned as a second lieutenant in 1963. Military career. Abacha was commissioned in 1963, after he had attended the Mons Defence Officers Cadet Training College in Aldershot, England. Before then, he had attended the Nigerian Military Training College in Kaduna. Abacha's military career is distinguished by a string of successful coups. He is by some records the most successful coup plotter in the history of Nigeria's military. He took part in the counter-coup of July 1966, from the conceptual stage, and may have been a participant in the Lagos or Abeokuta phases of the January 1966 coup. He was also a prominent figure in every single successful coup in Nigerian history, two of which brought and removed General Muhammadu Buhari from power in 1983. When General Ibrahim Babangida was named President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1985, Abacha was named Chief of Army Staff. He was appointed Minister of Defense in 1990. On November 17, 1993, Abacha overthrew the short-lived transitional government of Chief Ernest Shonekan. In September 1994, he issued a decree that placed his government above the jurisdiction of the courts, effectively giving him absolute power. Another decree gave him the right to detain anyone for up to 3 months without trial. Presidency. The Abacha administration became the first to record unprecedented economic achievements. He oversaw an increase in the country's foreign exchange reserves from $494 million in 1993 to $9.6 billion by the middle of 1997, reduced the external debt of Nigeria from $36 billion in 1993 to $27 billion by 1997, brought all the controversial privatization programs of the Babangida administration to halt, reduced an inflation rate of 54% inherited from Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida to 8.5%. Between 1993 and 1998, all while the nation's primary commodity, oil was at an average of $15 per barrel. His administration is also credited with creating the most comprehensive and realistic blueprint for Nigeria's development through the Vision 2010 committee chaired by his predecessor Ernest Shonekan. Human rights abuses. Abacha's government was accused of human rights abuses, especially after the hanging of Ogoni activist Ken Saro-Wiwa by the Aputa Commission. Moshood Abiola and Olusegun Obasanjo were jailed for treason, and Wole Soyinka charged in absentia with treason. His regime suffered opposition externally by pro-democracy activists. He however supported the Economic Community of West African States and sent Nigerian troops to Liberia and Sierra Leone to help restore democracy to those countries. Despite being repeatedly condemned by the U.S. State Department, Abacha did have a few ties to American politics. In 1997, Senator James Inhofe traveled to Nigeria to meet with Abacha as a representative of the family, a group of evangelical Christian politicians and civic leaders. Abacha and the family had a business and political relationship from that point until his death. Abacha also developed ties with other American political figures such as Senator Carol Moseley Braun, Reverend Jesse Jackson and Minister Louis Farrakhan. Several African American political leaders visited Nigeria during his reign and Farrakhan supported his administration. Corruption allegations. During Abacha's regime, he and his family reportedly stole a total of £5 billion from the country's coffers. In 2004, Abacha was listed as the fourth most corrupt leader in history. Abacha's national security advisor, Alhaji Ismaila Gwitso, played a central role in the looting and transfer of money to overseas accounts. His son Muhammad Abacha was also involved. A preliminary report published by the Abdul Salam Abubakar Transitional Government in November 1998 described the process. Sani Abacha told Ismaila Gwitso to provide fake funding requests, which Abacha approved. The funds were usually sent in cash or travelers' checks by the Central Bank of Nigeria to Gwitso, who took them to Abacha's house. Muhammad Abacha then arranged to launder the money to offshore accounts. An estimated $1.4 billion in cash was delivered in this way. In March 2014, the United States Department of Justice revealed that it had frozen more than $458 million believed to have been illegally obtained by Abacha and other corrupt officials. Death. Early in 1998, Abacha announced that elections would be held that August, with a view toward handing power to a civilian government on October 1. It soon became apparent, though, that Abacha had no intention of permitting an honest election. By April he had strong-armed the country's 5 parties into endorsing him as the sole presidential candidate. Abacha died in June 1998 while at the presidential villa in Abuja. He was buried on the same day, according to Muslim tradition, without an autopsy. This fueled speculation that he may have been executed extrajudicially by way of being poisoned by political rivals via prostitutes. The government identified the cause of death as a sudden heart attack. It is reported that he was in the company of 2 Indian prostitutes imported from Dubai. It is thought that the prostitutes laced his drink with a poisonous substance, making Abacha feel unwell around 4:30 a.m. He retired to his bed and was dead by 6:15 a.m. After Abacha's death, Major General Abdul Salami Abubakar, Nigeria's defense chief of staff, was sworn in as the country's head of state. Abubakar had never before held public office and was quick to announce a transition to democracy, which led to the election of President Olusegun Obasanjo. Abacha was married to Mariam Abacha and had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He has 15 grandchildren, 8 girls and 7 boys. Recovery of stolen funds. After Sani Abacha's death, the Obasanjo government implicated Abacha and his family in a wholesale looting of Nigeria's coffers. The late dictator's son, Muhammad Abacha, continues to maintain that all the assets in question were legitimately acquired. In 2002, Abacha's family purportedly agreed to return $1.2 billion that was taken from the central bank. False representation of name. The names of Sani Abacha, his wife Mayam, and son Muhammad are often used in advance fee fraud scams. He is identified in scam letters as the source for money that does not exist. Legacy. General Abacha is credited with restoring Nigeria's standing as an African power when he twice ordered the Nigerian military to intervene and restore the civilian and democratic governments of Sierra Leone and Liberia after a series of military coups in both countries. According to Oliver Okpala, during the Abacha regime, many political parties and associations flourished without let or hindrance. Like-minded politicians held meetings freely and formed a plethora of associations. After the Constituent Assembly, Abacha unregistered trademark government democratized the local government by conducting peaceful and credible elections of councillors and chairmen. Abacha unregistered trademark government also conducted House of Assembly and National Assembly elections in the country. In February 2014, during Nigeria's centenary celebrations, the Nigerian government honored Abacha for his immense contribution to the nation's development. References. External links. Works by or about Sani Abacha in libraries. Sani Abacha collected news and commentary at the New York Times. Abacha dies at 54, BBC News, June 8, 1998.